This is the second part of how to finish the bookmarker that we started last week for weaving. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to put him aside and we're going to get out the other one. So you should have finished this about 3 inches if you remember, and you should have a little tail because I didn't really tell you how to finish that off. So we're going to finish the, or maybe I did and I didn't finish mine, but I'm going to finish off the end of this and I'm going to stick my needle in a little bit. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to do that again. Going to do that, and then I'm going to stick my needle in there and I'm going to make a knot like that, pull it tight, and I want to do that again, and I'm going to go up a little ways. Actually, the other thing I could do is kind of just weave it back in to the, okay, so knotted it and then I just kind of wove it back in inside, and then I'm going to cut off the tail there. Okay, make sure you save the needle because you're going to be using it for the next project. Okay, so if you taped your tails down here, you can peel those up. So you have those off. Now, for the rest of this project, you're going to need some scissors. You're going to need some tape, Scotch tape or blue tape or masking tape. You should have had a bag that had some yarn in it and some eyes. You will also need some sort of glue, white glue, tacky glue. If you use hot glue, you probably need mom or dad to help you. Okay, so to make, the first thing we're going to do is make the top and the bottom part of this little guy. So we're going to turn our board over and we're just going to cut right through these strings. And maybe before I do that, actually, for this one, okay, so we're going to cut through, and we're going to cut through right about in the middle. Okay, so you get to just stick your scissors in there and cut. Okay, and then you're going to gently pull these off, and you'll have to kind of unwind that and then pull these off. So you've got all of your, all these things coming off the top and off the bottom. Now, whatever you do, don't cut them, because we have to tie them off. So this little guy, you can see I grouped together 3. I put 3 together and just tied a knot, and 3 together and tied a knot. So I'm going to do this one a little differently, just so you have another option for how you can do it. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to group these in 2s. And I am going to tie a knot just like you would tie a knot for your shoe. And actually, okay, and I'm going to, when I tie this next knot, I'm going to kind of make sure that little pink is inside. And I guess maybe I will do 3 knots. So I just did 2 there. And then I'm going to find the next 2 that are next to each other, and I'm going to tie another knot just like I'm tying my shoe, the beginning part of tying your shoe. Tie it all the way down, maybe a little bit tight. Do it again, and then do it again. Okay, so now I have 2 here, 2 here, and then I'm going to do my last 2. Okay, so wrap it around, put it in the hole, pull it down, and then do it again. And then I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, so now we have 4 little tails sticking up, and you can cut them as long or as short as you want them. So I think I'm going to make these maybe a little bit shorter. And then that's just trash. Okay, so I got my little thing sticking up there. Make him look like a real funny little monster. Okay, now this is when you're going to need some tape. So I'm going to take a piece of tape and I am going to put it across this just so it will hold this down. Now I have a board that I can move. It's a small whiteboard. You could use your table at home, just tape it on the table. You could use a plate. Okay, so now we are going to do some braiding. And in order to do the braiding, I'm going to put 3 on this side and I'm going to put 3 on this side. Now, your mom, dad, big sister, big brother might be able to help you if you don't know how to braid. If you do know how to braid, maybe they can help you, but I'm going to try to help you figure out how to braid. So braiding basically is everything goes around the one that's in the middle, but the one that's in the middle keeps changing. So I'm going to take this one and put it over this one. Now this one became this side and this one just became the middle. I used that side, so now I'm going to do this side. And I just keep going like that. Now I did it really loose, but I want it actually really tight up here. And I did it loose so you could see. Okay, so I just came off of this one, so I'm going to do this one. Now the reason I have it taped is because you want it slightly taut. Okay, and then I am just going to keep braiding, and you can see I've kind of lifted it up and I am pulling it with my hands and I have it kind of tight, and then you're going to braid it as far as you would like to, however long you want your little monster's legs to go. Okay, I think I'm done right there, so I'm going to hold it right here and I'm going to do a knot where I wrap it around and I stick it in the hole like that, and I'm trying to pull it down so I'm somewhat close to where I finished my braid. Now that's not very much little tails there, and that's plenty long for me, so I'm going to leave it. Now the tricky part is going to be to braid this about the same length. So once again, I'm going to start, and when you're doing it, you want to make sure you get it pulled up close to the top because that's what's going to hold your weaving in. Okay? So I am going to stop talking for a moment here, and you can just watch. Okay, so that part's done. So the next part we're going to do is the 3 yarns that you have. I am going to pick up my big, I'm going to save my tape because I'm going to use it again. Okay, so now we're going to do the arms. Now your arms might not match any colors in your little monster, and that's okay. Does not have to match. So I'm going to thread my needle, and I'm going to do this same thing 3 times because I've got 3 yarns, and we're going to do the braiding again. So what I am going to do is I am going to decide where I want his arm. So the eyes are going to go up here. So I'm going to probably put his arm right about here. And I'm going to stick it past my first warp thread. And then I'm going to stick it all the way across the back, and I'm going to come out this side. So that's what it's going to look like on the back. And I'm going to pull this through. And I don't want to pull it all the way out the other side because I need to have some here and some here. And you can see this is uneven. So all I have to do is move it. I can set it, put them together, see if I kind of have them equal. And I do. Then I'm going to move that back. I'm going to do it again 2 more times, the exact same thing. Okay, and I'm going to move it up really close to here, and then I'm going to come out the other side like that, and I've got this little tail here. I'm going to pull my needle off. I'm going to match these up so they're somewhat even, and one more time I'm going to thread my needle. I want to make sure that this is not equal, so when I pull it through I don't have to pull it so it's super small, kind of right next to it, pull it through again. When I see my tail I can stop, put my finger on it, okay, and then I'm going to make this match. Okay, so now this is where I recommend you definitely use a plate. Remember to save this, we're going to need it. This is where I definitely recommend you use a plate, because I want to be able to twist this around. So you could use your table and you could just pick this up and reposition it. That's up to you. Once again, we are going to just do some braiding. Now you have to be careful. You might want to add a second piece to hold these guys down, because you don't want to pull them through. Okay, because you're going to be kind of pulling, braiding, you got to pull a little bit tight. Okay, so okay, so now you can see this is kind of long here, so I'm going to cut it this where I want it. I don't have very good scissors, and I didn't cut this one, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this one a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to untape my little guy. Do it gently so you don't pull all of the yarns askew. Okay, so the last thing you're going to do is you're going to decide what you want to do for your eyes. Now, I gave each of you 2 eyes, so you can glue your monster with 2 eyes. You can see this one I used just 1 eye. You could use 1 eye. It's whatever you want. The important thing is that you use white glue or tacky or hot glue. If you use white glue, make sure you use a nice big blob. And I'm going to make his eyes look kind of crazy. So I'm going to put 1 eye up high and 1 eye a little bit lower and kind of right next to each other, so he looks kind of crazy. You can see my glue kind of stuck out. The nice thing about white glue is it dries clear. No one will see that. So there we have it, our little crazy monsters. And you can, when you're done, make sure you take a picture with you holding it maybe in your hand, so we can see what you made, but you'll have to include yourself. And if you're in my class, if you're in kindergarten, send me the picture on Remind. And if you're not in my class, send the picture to Miss Colleen, because we would love to feature our weaving project in the highlights video at the end of the week. Okay? Have fun. And there will be another video to show you how to do today's project.